Hey everybody, it's Mary and we're going to do our St. Patrick's Day pot of gold, okay? Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about what I did because I know sometimes if we don't go over everything, it might seem a little confusing. So here's what I did. I did 2 coats of Christmas green. Hey Casey, how are you? Good to see you. I did 2 coats of Christmas green over the whole thing because I just kind of felt like 1 coat of Christmas green wasn't quite enough. So I did 2 coats of Christmas green. And then what I did is I did the black for my pot right here. And then of course for the hat belt right here. And then I just did my light yellow, which I think is number 13 on this. And that Christmas green I think is number 11. And then of course black is 37. And I put a little bit of white. Now, I went ahead and did some of the letters before the live video because sometimes that lettering can be very tedious and it takes a long time. So, but what I do want to show you is I left the word D off day so I could show you, okay? So I'll just show you what I did on those letters. I took a script liner. It's a bigger one. And as you can tell, it's a really old one. And I just kind of dipped, I have some water in here. I just put the water in there, probably this morning, because I think I did this morning. And with that script liner, I'm just going to do this. Okay. And I just kind of tried to stay within those lines. That's all I really did on my letters. And like I said, I did those a little earlier, because I just didn't want y'all to have to sit here and watch me do the same thing over and over. So once you have your letters done, and you don't necessarily have to do the letters in the order that I'm doing them, but I just felt like that was the easiest way to do it. So once I have the letters done, then everything is ready to go as far as shading. Hey Jane, how are you? Hi Debbie. So what I did is I just telling her, Casey, because she's the first one on here, I went ahead and put 2 coats of green on this thing. And then I did my light yellow for my coins, my black on the pot of gold. And I started with 2 coats of Christmas green, number 11. I did the St. Patrick's Day lettering. I've got to go back and touch it up a little bit. But what I wanted to show you is I'm going to, I think I'm going to start right here because this is wet right here. I'm going to try to avoid that. But I'm going to do the yellow coins. And I think on this one, I've done it in the past. I'm going to add a little bit of water here. Okay. Let's see. Put a little bit of water in here. And I don't have a whole lot of paint in here because I don't really think I'm going to need a whole lot. And I'm just going to take a flat tip brush. Let me get a small one, y'all. Y'all, I am so excited. This weather has been so awesome. Never in Texas do we usually have sunny days with cool temperatures. That's why I've been like, woohoo, woohoo. Love it, y'all. So I'm going to take my flat tip brush and I'm just going to go around and I'm going to do some shading on this, the buckle of this band, if you will. I'm not going to put a worry about trying to really be perfect with it because it's just a small area and it's not going to be perfect. So I just kind of keep tipping that in there and doing something like that. There we go. And this brush that I have is a number 10, so it's one of the smaller ones. Okay. Now the thing about your coins, I think, is if I have a whole coin outlined, I will go ahead. In other words, if a whole coin has been routed with that CNC line, I'll go ahead and do that whole thing. Okay, so what that means is, say example, this one goes here. Putting a little bit more paint in there. And that one goes there. And then out here, I just kind of come out on the side. I'm not going to try to go back in there and do it, okay? I'm not going to do that because it's a smaller area. And if you try to shade, then the whole piece goes dark and you don't have a lot of that base coat light color. In this example, what we're talking about right now will be the light yellow. I don't want to cover up a lot of that light yellow. I like it. Of course, you want to shade it, but you don't want to cover it up too much either. And so then I would kind of come in here and do something like that. Do something like this. So far, so good, y'all. And of course, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do white. Hey, Victoria, how are you? Victoria and I are gonna be doing a video next week together. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's on the 9th. She's gonna come over and we're gonna be together on a video doing color, mixing colors. That's gonna be in the academy. So if you're in the academy, make sure you join us. It's on the calendar, but I'm excited about that because I think I'm gonna learn some stuff. Always, 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 y'all wanna learn something. Always. No matter who you are, I think you can always learn something. So when I'm looking at this, I thought about doing a little bit of yellow strokes in here, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna leave a little bit of, I'm gonna put some white in here. I think if I start putting yellow brush strokes on these coins, it's just gonna be too yellow. So I'm just gonna wash out this brush. I got the same shader, okay? That number 10. And I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Just a little bit of a highlight, not a whole lot. Y'all know if you watch any of us very long, Ashley and myself, we always like to put highlights on everything. So I think I'm gonna like that. So I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. And I'm going to get out my shading green. I think that's number 12. Because we've got a lot of shading we need to do on this guy. And I'm also going to get out this number 12 flat tip. And here's my 12, hey, 12 flat tip, y'all. 12 number green. Number 12 green. Just had to bring that up. So, hey, Jane, how are you? Cindy, how are you doing? I hope you guys are doing great today. I'm loving this weather, y'all. It is awesome. It's just great to have good weather without it raining, you know, and without it being 95-degree heat. Because we all know the 95-degree heat's coming. If you live in this part of the world, you know it's coming. So I'm just putting a little bit of a shade around the perimeter. The thing I think about shading is if you ever really don't know what to do with shading, start just doing it around the perimeter. That's always a good place to start. That's typically where I start, okay? And then I would probably just bring that brush in and just do some strokes, some brush strokes. Y'all tell me, can you see this? Did I turn my camera the right way where y'all can see St. Patrick's Day and read it correctly? Y'all let me know. If not, I can turn the camera. I thought I did, but who knows? Who knows? So I'm going to come up here on this hat and do a little bit here. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And something like that. And on the stem of my little 4-leaf clover, I'm gonna make it all dark, the stem part on the stem. And I'd probably do this, something like that, y'all. And then again, I'll just come over here on my clover and just go around the perimeter. So if you're just starting to watch, I told them in the beginning, I did 2 coats of Christmas green on this, on the whole thing. And I let it dry, and then I came back and put my light yellow and my black. And then of course I did my letters. All right, so we got it. So see, there's really not a lot to him, but anytime you're painting something, and I think probably most of y'all feel this way too, if you'll do a little bit of shading on it, it just takes it from, you know, something that looks kind of flat to something that's a lot more interesting to look at. Kind of like my hairdresser told me years ago. So I went to the hairdresser, and I get my hair colored, as if y'all couldn't tell. And I said to her, I had a lot of gray. I said, do you think I need to color my hair, or should I just let it go gray? And she said, look, Mary, you need some color because you got to give them something to look at. I was like, oh, good to know. So I've always colored my hair. That's the theory I'm going to go with. You got to give them something to look at on painting too, y'all. And again, I'm just kind of going around here, doing some of that. Coming up here. And if you'll notice, a lot of times when I'm shading, I just make big strokes, or long strokes. I don't think big is the right word. Long strokes. And I'm going to come up here. Got my little banner, I guess you would call this a little banner. I'm making my banner look a little bit 3D right here. And so I'm going to come over here, like so. And I'm going to go in here and just kind of go back and forth because I've got that long stretch, right? So, and I will come in, y'all know me, I'm always going to take that brush and I'm just going to kind of bounce it a little bit. That's just what I do, okay? Not saying you have to. Definitely do whatever works for you and what you like. Because when it comes to painting, I think it's just about what your eyeball likes. And that's really all that matters. If it pleases your eye and you like it, you are good to go. That's really all that matters. So I haven't been on this live very long, and y'all can see, of course I had it base coated before I got on here, but y'all can see that already, I think I've been on this live maybe 10 minutes, and already just the little bit of shading that I've done has made a world of difference. So I'm not saying if you don't shade, you have a bad yard art piece. That's not what I'm saying. But if you do shade, you're really going to have something a lot more visually interesting than if you don't. Now, as far as my little coins, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the script liner and I'm going to take this shading yellow, the same thing that I used on that flat tip brush. This is the same color I used on the flat tip brush. I'm going to use that same color for my script liner. You don't have to do this step, but I like to do it because it just gives my little coins here a little bit more of this dark shading yellow and a little bit more definition. And all I'm doing is just going around the outside of my little coins. That's all I'm doing. Something like this. And if you notice, it's the same color as what I shaded with. I'm just giving it a little bit more coverage, if you will. Yeah, I think I like that. It does make my little coin stand out a little bit better. It gives it a little bit more color. So I think I'm good. I'm going to go with that, y'all. Hey, Wendy, how are you? I'm so glad you could join me. I am painting a pot of gold. And don't we all wish we had that pot of gold sitting in the back of our house? Kind of like our parents used to say, what do you think, I got a money tree in the backyard? And I was like, I never said it out loud because I was smart enough not to. I knew we didn't have a money tree in the backyard, not the way we were living. So, but everybody wishes they had a pot of gold, I think. I know sometimes I wish that. Anyway, yes, y'all, I like my coins. Like them, like them, like them. And Ashley did the gnome yesterday, and I think it turned out real good. And she did the 4-leaf clover. She did that 4-leaf clover polka dot and a plaid. And y'all, that turned out really good. And they're real easy to do too. Oh, I just forgot. I want to go put a little bit more of this shading yellow on my buckle up here, y'all. A little bit more shading yellow right up here. Just to kind of make that buckle stand out a little bit more. So don't feel like you can't grab the script liner and use it for the same color that you shaded with, because you absolutely can. It just depends on what look you're going for, but you definitely can. Pick up the script liner and that shading color and just go to town. That's what I do. And you're going to get a lot of definition around that. Okay, so now I think I'm ready to go and do, oh, y'all made Bobo's over here. Oh, what the heck are you doing? Anyway, I was, somehow my shading yellow color got splattered everywhere. Hey, Cece, how are you? That's my sis-in-law. I'm married to her only sibling, her brother. And she lives in Bay City and we're here in Pearland. So how are you doing, Cece? I am working on a pot of gold. So what I'm going to do is I have my number 37 black with my script liner. And I'm just going to put some paint on this script liner and go to town. I'm going to outline this pot of gold. Make it the way I want it, you know, as far as a finishing look. And to me, that's kind of what an outline does. It gives it a definition and a finished look that you're not going to get any other way. So we pretty much always outline everything we do. There might be a few exceptions, but for the most part, and we always outline everything. And before I get through, I got to remember to show y'all. Tomorrow, I'm coming on and I'm doing the Bunny Drives the Easter truck. And I'm going to show y'all, I've got him base coated already. And I'll show y'all what he looks like. Because if I didn't base coat that bunny driving the Easter truck piece, we'd be on a live for 2 hours. He's got a lot of colors, but I think it's gonna turn out really good. So far, I like what I've done. Sometimes, y'all, you do stuff and you're like, not really feeling it, you know? Not always liking everything you do. It's just life. All right, I'm coming up over here on my clover. And you can see all I'm doing is taking this script liner and following the CNC routed line. Think of it as painting by number when you were, well, some of y'all are not as old as I am, but when we were young, I had these little, I would call them like, maybe like almost like a magazine. They would come out and it was painting by number. They'd have these pages full of stuff that you could paint by number. A lot of times I take this script liner and I just kind of do some squiggly lines, what I call squigglies, right up there. Nothing that is going to be real definite, but just something kind of light and wispy. Okay. Now, while I have my black script liner out, I'm going to, my black paint, or the script liner full of black paint, I'm just going to kind of go very close on this pot of gold. Make sure I've got everything the way I want it as far as it looking the way I want it to look. And then of course I've got to do something down here with this banner. You always want to outline that. And this is going to be finished when I get the white on there. That's when it's going to look, to me, that's when it's going to look finished. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm just going to go here. I've got quite a bit of paint on here, y'all. Quite a bit. Quite a bit of paint. And I'm just taking this script liner, filling it full of paint, and dragging it where I want it to go. Dragging it or moving it, however you want to look at that. Here we go. And I'm just taking it and I'm just kind of going up and down a little bit, not really trying to do the outline. You don't really have to do this part, but it's just something I do, and I'll just kind of go and just make some black strokes here and there and yonder that are much lighter than the outline. The outline stroke is going to be kind of the thickest stroke, if you will. And then I'll just take this and very lightly, maybe come right like over here and just do this. Something like that, something like this. And really, that's it. Easy, 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 y'all. Okay, let's put some white on here. And while I'm thinking about it, I think I brought, hold on a minute, I'll show y'all. I got my calendar. So tomorrow, yes, that's right. I'll be on tomorrow at 2 doing the bunny truck. And Victoria will be on Sunday doing that gnome that I posted a picture of, and that gnome is super cute, super, super cute. Okay, so I'm going to put some paint on this script liner. Now this is the part of the pot that kind of has a CNC line right there, and then I'm just going to kind of come up here and I'm just putting a little bit of paint everywhere else on this pot to kind of give it some definition. Nothing too serious. But to me, it's not finished unless you put some white on it. It gives it some personality. All right, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm just gonna kind of put some white on this banner. I drug my white paint through the black. All right, here we go. Now, I did St. Patrick's Day letters earlier, so y'all wouldn't have to just sit here and watch me do lettering. But I did it with a bigger script liner. And so what I'm going to go do now is I'm going to put some more paint in here. I'm having a hard time getting paint out of there. I might have to do something about that. I don't think the hole is cut large enough on that. And I'm going to doctor up this lettering a little bit because it's not quite as even as I want it to be. Hey, Wendy, how are you? So glad you could join me. Because St. Patrick's Day lettering it's not bad looking, but it's certainly not as finished as I want it to look. So I put a little bit more water in here, and I'm going to come back over a little bit of that lettering, not a lot. Now don't forget your little part down here on the kettle, or the pot, I guess, whatever you call it, down here. And then of course you got to finish out the green banner. And I'm just taking that white and just kind of moving it around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of come in here with some paint on this script liner and just clean up those edges till I get my lettering to look a little bit more straight or even. Sometimes trying to get paint down into those lines, you really have to water that paint down to make it stay in the, or make it fall in that line, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so that looks better. Yeah, but if I don't do some of this lettering before the live, I'll be here forever doing it. So, okay, and I'm just kind of touching up any little area here that I think is not quite as good as it could be. Y'all know that I am not going for perfection. That's not what I'm about. It's not going to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. I say as long as it doesn't look sloppy, you're good to go. Now, if it looks sloppy, that's one thing. But if it doesn't look sloppy, it doesn't need to be perfect. And I'm just touching up these little grooves in there. That's all I'm doing. Okay. 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 And you can see, there we go. I got a little water on that one, but it'll dry. I guess the water bottle, some of it splattered down here. And I'm just coming in here doing a little bit of what I call doctoring up. Making it look a little bit more even. Y'all, it is so nice to be able to sit and paint. I couldn't sleep much this morning very early, so I got up and base coated this. And I did some other stuff too. It beats, if you have insomnia like I do sometimes, it beats laying in the bed looking at the dark ceiling. I just get up, come out here and do something. And I look at it this way, kind of kill two birds with one stone. I actually get something done, and I quit thinking about the fact that I can't sleep, which is annoying. Hey Kitty, how are you? I'm glad you could join us. I am just about to finish this guy up, and I'm gonna stand him up where y'all can see. And you can always go back and watch this if you happen to have bought this, or you're thinking about buying it, or you just kind of want to watch some more painting videos. Y'all, half the time when I can't sleep, I'll get up and watch somebody else's painting videos. I like to watch those. That's how you know you're doing the right thing as far as what you like in your free time if you go and do it. Go watch other people do it, you know. Okay, so let me show you what I got. This is our pot of gold. Here we go. I have a lot of paint on here, so I'm trying not to. But you could see how I took that black script liner, and of course I have a wide line on the perimeter, but I also have some black lines right over here where that green shading is. That's just something I like to do. Gives it a little bit more, I guess, personality, and a little bit more something to look at, as they say. That'll give you an idea. And I'm going to show you guys right quick what I'm going to show you tomorrow. Hold on. So tomorrow, I'm going to be on at 2 o'clock doing this guy. He's the Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny truck. I've already base coated him and done some of the lettering at the bottom. So tomorrow I'll be doing all the shading. I'm going to do some circles, some highlighting and outlining. I'll do all that tomorrow about 2. And if you're thinking you want to buy that one, he's definitely at the store. Thank you so much for joining us. You can go back and check it out if you're interested in the pot of gold. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.